Okay, getting started with landing pages. What, hi, and wow. Do a quick overview here. Whole goal today is knowledge that you can apply to your company's website. We're going to do about a 20-minute presentation. We'll cover some examples, some good design, bad design, things that convert, and again, we'll do some Q&A at the end, and then we'd like a little feedback from you to help us improve. All right, first question, what the heck is a landing page? A landing page is a single page on your website which is used to achieve a specific goal. You're trying to drive people to take a particular action. So how do you do this? If you're trying to get somebody to take a particular action, you need to tell the right people to do that, right? So hopefully with your marketing, you're doing segmentation or you understand how to target, you know, who your core audience is. And within that, you may have different sub demographics. So you may have folks that are interested in one particular service that you offer, but not so much interested in another. So you want to get those people that the action that you're trying to get them to take is obviously appropriate for what they're doing, and then everything needs to align essentially. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So you're trying to address really like a particular problem or pain point maybe that they're having that would then lead into that service that you're offering, or maybe you're trying to get them to download an ebook, you're trying to get them to register for an event, different things like that. So it all just needs to flow. All right, so segmentation. Again, if you don't know what those different audience groups are, then you need to get together, with your business partner, whoever you bounce ideas with, and figure that out. You need to have those, and you need to document those. You need to identify what those different groups are, and that way you know who to target, and then that'll help you better figure out how to target. So once you have those different groups, you'll need to plan what is called a funnel for each one. And a funnel is just really this whole process, what we just described. Take your group of people, get them to take action, and there may be a couple steps to getting them to do so. So the first thing you want to do is to determine an appropriate goal. What action do you want them to take? Do you want them to sign up for your newsletter? Do you want them to attend an event that you're putting on? Whatever that is, figure out what would make sense. From there, you're going to want to figure out what your call to action is. Okay, so if it's downloading an ebook, hey, get my free ebook now, or get my access to this template, whatever it might be. From there, you're going to want to create the dedicated landing page to support that call to action. And then once you have that established and ready to go, that's when you then work on promoting it and getting traffic to it. This is not a you build it and they will come type of thing. I mean, you have to get eyes on the page in order for people to actually see that and take action. So you can prepare a social media post. Maybe you're doing email campaigns to your list. Again, whatever that audience segment is, however you want to reach them. Maybe you're targeting with particular ads, whatever it is that you want to do. Get all that ready. Have your description, have a catchy title, have those things ready again, and document that. And that way you can just, kind of copy and paste and then tweak a little bit as you're doing these different things to bring in your audience. So why do landing pages work? They work because they are specific. You have to stay specific to that audience and think about their needs. Okay, you really want to keep that in mind as you're doing this whole thing, because the more that you speak to that particular group that have these things in common, the more effective it's going to be. I mean, which do you prefer? Do you prefer a lot of just general information thrown at you, or do you prefer a more tailored experience? A good way to think about this is, like you're sitting down and having coffee with someone. You're going to speak with an individual, or to a small group of people that have something in common differently than you would say present to a large audience in an auditorium or something, right? I mean, it's just you want to stay focused on what it is that you're doing. I'm just checking the chat here. Okay, so yeah, so Bianca is in insurance sales, and her significant other is a realtor. So yeah, the information, valuable information for both of you. Yeah, I mean, this works for service businesses. This works for nonprofits. I mean, this works for basically anything where you're trying to get a group of people to take action. So excellent. Yeah, appreciate that, Bianca. All right, let's talk about design a little bit. Here's what a lot of companies tend to do. They talk about themselves. So, hey, we're awesome. This is why you should work with us. We're number one in an industry. da 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 da, and then they have some kind of animated thing in the background, or big giant picture or something, and it's really not focused on where it needs to be in order to get folks to convert. Okay, so let's look at what is essentially a template for good design. And that is, okay, right away you see that we're keeping things clean here, right? Okay, we're focusing on the customer, and we're then focusing a bit on, a couple highlights. Maybe we get into a little more detail here. All right, sorry, let me get my pointer going here. All right, hey, yeah. So there we go, focusing on the customer. Then we've got a few, quick items or bullet points as far as some additional detail as far as what's going on, either further detail or preferably some social proof down over here, imagery that makes sense, and then a call to action. Now, layout wise, you don't have to follow this exactly. Again, this is a good starting point. This should help you achieve those conversions that you're looking for. If you don't have anything, or if you're just getting started and you're not sure what else to do, use this as a default and then go from there. All right, so let's dive into each of these components a little deeper. So the very first thing that the customer sees, or the viewer rather sees, should be your headline. Now you may have your logo over here, and that's perfectly fine, or down at the bottom, wherever. But don't just have giant logo that takes up the first half of the screen. Again, you're going to want to focus on them. The whole point of the headline is to hook their interest. Okay, we'll talk about that a little here in a little more. From here, we've got those bullet details, social proof. Okay, we've kind of covered that. So, headline, again, grab their attention. That is the single job of a headline, because if they are not convinced to even get to your call to action or read the rest of what's going on, then it's a waste. It doesn't matter. So that is the whole job. Hook them so that way they will interact with the rest of your content. Details. It can be features about the product that you're offering. It can be statistics. Maybe 70% of people who download this or use the service, achieve the success that they're looking for. Whatever that is. That's a good place to just kind of put a couple brief things about why they should want to engage with what you're offering. You're going to want to help them start to visualize and understand what they can achieve with what you're offering. Social proof. So this could be testimonials from existing customers that are happy with the services you provided or the product, or you can also use things called trust icons. So you used to see this a lot more. You see like SSL site secured by Komodo, blah blah blah, different things like that. It could also that's a more technical kind of trust icon. Oh hey, if you fill out this form, your information is safe, it's secure. You can have a link to your privacy policy. You can have your BBB rating, different things like that. Anything that helps someone seeing the site, because maybe they're interacting with your brand for the first time. That's usually the traffic that comes to a landing page was driven from an ad, doing something that they may not have seen you before. So they don't yet have that relationship with you, and we're wanting to start to build that. So anything that helps build trust, social proof is great for that. And that will just really help them, be further convinced to engage with you. Imagery, again, you're wanting to help them visualize what will change, what the impact of what you are offering will have. So maybe that's success with their business. I mean, that's the whole point of, this landing page presentation, is to help you get more traffic and get more conversions. If you're B2B, get more leads, get more revenue and sales. So help visualize that goal. All right, call to action. So that is, the button that they click on, the specific, thing that you're trying to make them do. You should have one call to action, okay? How many calls to action? One call to action. And here's why. We're staying focused, right? You have a focused audience, you have a focused goal. Everything should be focused. People tend to want to, well, we want them to check out our Facebook page or subscribe or do this or do that. Okay, that's good and well, but do that later, okay? Do that once they have converted. So let's see some examples here real quick, and we'll kind of look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if anybody has any particular questions or comments or anything else that you're wanting to know specifically about landing pages, go ahead and let us know in the chat. All right, so here is a screenshot I grabbed from something that HubSpot did. So they are offering 13 free customizable ebook templates. So what's right and what's wrong here? It is clean, clear, and focused. Okay, you see, okay, hey, ebook templates. The image is, of somebody holding a tablet, iPad or whatnot, looking at an ebook. Okay, I comprehend that. The form is short. A lot of times people will get intimidated by forms that have, 8 or 9 fields and you're wanting your phone number, your address, and, just all this stuff. People either get lazy and they don't want to fill it all out, or they become a bit more suspicious, like, oh, hey, are you going to spam the heck out of me if I give you all this contact info? What are you using this for? Again, that's what your privacy policy and so forth can come into play. Um, the image is a little odd. An ebook template being, I think you get what it is conceptually. It is something that's a bit hard to visualize. This doesn't really, at least me anyway, this doesn't really nab me right off the bat. It doesn't really help hook, my interest, but it is what it is. Now, something that's interesting is, again, because this might be the first interaction with their brand that somebody is having, they do have a little quick blurb about who they are, which, okay, they work with inbound marketing, da 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 da. Okay, that makes sense. That's related to ebook templates, and it does start to help build, a bit of that trust. And okay, well, hey, yeah, they're probably experts in this if this is what they do. It does kind of distract from the call to action, which is actually pretty weak. Just says continue. It doesn't say continue to get your book. It doesn't say download now. It's really not all that compelling. But overall, this is a pretty decent example. All right, example number 2, PayPal. What are we missing here? A headline, like all this unused space up here. The main thing you see is download the free ebook. Okay, well, ebook on what? And then you have to dig a little deeper to see, okay, grow your online business, read more. This gets a little hard to read. Again, growing your online business. Why is grow your online business not the headline? I mean, that should be nice and big and bold up here. That should really be one of the first things that you see. It is kind of odd that they have sort of the 3-column layout here. Just visually, the flow is a bit odd. Not to say that that's bad necessarily, but it is, I wouldn't consider this terribly optimized. Then once you read more about the features, they're talking about search rankings. They're talking about, your e-commerce cart. You're talking about expanding your market to international customers. I mean, these are all completely different topics, and we're supposed to stay focused, right? Well, that's not really happening here. So again, this is kind of odd. I don't really consider this a very good landing page. The part that is clear is, okay, download the free ebook. So they understand what's going to happen. And that's huge because the call to action, they need to understand very clearly what's going to happen once they do so. Download now and we'll email you this shortly. Okay, well, hey, then I know to check my email and look for my free ebook. I'm not wondering, oh, is this going to open in a new tab? Well, what's happening? Okay, I clicked it. Now what? You don't want to leave them hanging. So whether you say that up front or you show that maybe after they click the button, whichever is fine, just as long as they understand what's going to happen. All right, example number 3, found another one from HubSpot. Boom, right away, we have a nice, compelling headline here. You understand what you're going to get. You understand if this is relevant to you or not. They're using a different color here to kind of bold, or not really bold, but draw attention to, what it is that you're going to receive. Free advice, on how your company can use it. So you understand the value of what they're offering here. And I kind of like the what's the catch? There is no catch. It seems clean and honest. It's this. There's no nonsense here. Everything is related to, and focused upon what they're trying to do. And it looks like this screenshot that I found actually kind of cut off. We don't know what their call to action button is at the bottom. The form is a little long. We don't know if there's maybe a couple more fields below that or not. One thing here, the image, it's just like a visual checklist. There's really not a whole lot that, nothing here visually says marketing assessment. And it really is important to have a relevant visual because the human brain processes visual information, ridiculously faster than text. It's like 50,000 times faster or something like that. So you want people to, immediately have some idea of what you're talking about here. So that's really kind of my only complaint on this one. Otherwise, pretty nice layout. All right, this one visually it grabs you. We've got orange. We have a relevant visual here. Free ebook. Okay, we have the visual of the book that lines out. At first glance, this one looks awesome. We have clear value here. 8 key steps to blogging mastery. Well, if I'm looking to do more blogging or do more content marketing, hey, then yes, I know that this is for me. We're addressing a pain point here, helping you avoid the pain of all the months and years of experience and trial and error and research and all that. But on closer inspection, there's a couple things here that really aren't that great. So the cover of the actual ebook itself, I don't know, there's a dude in a suit balancing on, like a rolled up umbrella and a box. Like what is that about? I don't, that's just kind of confusing. Um, so taking that ebook cover, and using this more like kind of 3D image format, that's fine. I just would have went with a different, image in the cover itself. And then here, okay, we're supposed to have social proof, right? We're supposed to have a headline, we're supposed to have some details, we're supposed to have imagery, call to action. Where's the social proof? Here we have what you would expect to be a testimonial, but it's not. It's just a rather cheesy quote from the author himself. So this is making the mistake of being self-centered or self-focused rather than focusing on the customer. So, really that's a missed opportunity to, okay, well, if you really are the #1 business blogger in the world, you probably have some feedback or some testimonials or customers that you've worked with. I mean, I think there would be something that would be a pretty easy win that you could share here. So those are a couple things that I would definitely, at least test and see what performs better. Yeah, that image, and then the missed opportunity for a quote from someone other than yourself. That what I would think that would convert better. All right, I think this is our last example here. Boom. Actually, I really love this one. I mean, you cannot get more simple than this. Okay, we have got brand recognition. I got a little gecko here, and literally it's just, begin a quote. Okay, we kind of know what's going on with that, and all you have to do is enter your zip code. I mean, it could not be easier to get started. There's no long form. There's not a bunch of distracting, paragraphs of text. The only thing here is, we all know Geico is a huge brand, right? So I mean, this headline, it sounds warm and fuzzy. You have no idea what this is for, though, if you have not heard of Geico. So they're playing off their strength that they are a huge brand that can get away with this. All right, you and I cannot. We don't get to do that. I mean, unless you're spending millions of dollars, monthly on advertising where everybody knows your brand and what you do, you're not going to be able to get away with this. But they are, so they've been able to adapt, and do something different here. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. They were able to achieve simplicity. Now you could do the same thing, but your headline needs to be relevant. It needs to explain what it's about. Okay, hey, are you interested in attending this business seminar? Are you interested in learning more about XYZ? And then click here to begin, or put in your name to begin, your email, whatever. So the simplicity is nice, but obviously they're able to kind of cheat a little bit and play off their brand recognition. So we talked about having one call to action. So what happens after they actually convert? They click the button, they sign up, they do whatever we've asked them to do. Then and only then should you ask for something else. So this is where if you're wanting to get people to follow your Facebook page, if you're wanting to get them to maybe they just downloaded an ebook, but you didn't ask for the email. Now you want to ask for their email, you want to get them to subscribe to something else. That's when you can do so. Maybe you want them to send you funny cat photos because that's something that you enjoy and makes you happy. Whatever you want to ask them for, do that after they have already converted, or put it lower on the page. That's another trick that you can kind of use, like at least make sure that they have seen that primary call to action. That's something you can play around with and test. But general rule of thumb, again, if you're not sure, quite what approach to take, which you do now because you have a template to do so, but just keep it one call to action. Start with that, see how well that converts, because anything else you do is going to distract from that one call to action. Now, one kind of exception to that would be if you have two related calls to action. So back in an earlier example on HubSpot, so they actually had their phone number in the top right. So if you were wanting that free marketing assessment or whatever it was that they were, or email assessment, whatever they were offering. Okay, you could fill out the form or you could give them a call. That's really two different ways of achieving the same thing. So to me, that's fine. You're just giving them a bit of flexibility on how they achieve that goal. But by default, stick with one or at least keep them tightly related. All right, so now you know why landing pages work, you know what they are. So how do we build one? Well, hopefully you have a web developer that you can use, but if not, maybe you built your site yourself using some sort of site builder like WordPress or Wix or something like that. Now you've got a template to, figure out how to build that, and you can make an attempt at, starting that and seeing how well that can work for your business. If you do not have web design skills, or you're not comfortable with WordPress, or your site isn't easily editable, by you or someone in your company, you can use services such as Unbounce or Instant Page. And what they do is they have like, nice, easy to use drag and drop builders that allow you to build a landing page that then you have options. Either it can redirect to your main site, or there's different things they can set up. They collect the email and then you use MailChimp or whatnot to follow up with whatever is next. So there's different options that they have, and they'll have some analytics and tracking and different things that are useful for you. So those can get kind of pricey per month. It really just depends upon, if you have skills in-house or not, or already have a web developer, someone that you're working with in order to set up something like this for you. Your next option would be finding a web designer or a marketing agency that can help you out with that. Yes, of course, that's part of what we do. Marketing strategy, digital marketing, this is very much a part of that. This is really an area where the strategy and the digital side of things come together, and it can really help bring you some leads, some conversions, and some sales. So we would be happy to talk with you about that if anybody has any particular questions or is interested in getting started. So how do you use these in your marketing? And like any other component, it has to be part of a comprehensive strategy in order to be successful. So you want to link individual components, such as your email marketing, your website, your branding, needs to be consistent throughout all these different things. And, just that way you're creating like a marketing engine, or you're creating a system that is cohesive, and, everything is kind of helping everything else. So again, once you get this built, and now you know how, the goal is to drive targeted traffic. You have to promote the site. You have to get eyeballs on it in order for people to interact with it, right? I mean, if it's ghost town up in there, then it doesn't do any good, no matter how well, formatted things are, no matter how nice the layout and the imagery is, and all that good stuff. So there's a few things that you can do. One would be to create a content piece related to your goal, and that could be an article, could be a blog post. This could be on your main company site. It could be on Medium. It could be a guest post on someone else's blog. It could even be, if you're a guest on a podcast or something like that, and you're talking about what you're doing, then you tell people to go to your site and check it out. So from there, you'll want to link or talk about your shiny new landing page, and you can post on social media. You can run ad campaigns. This is actually very common tactic, running ad campaigns that go specifically to a landing page rather than your homepage. So if you're running Google ads, you're doing Facebook ads, and you're sending people to your homepage, you are probably leaving conversions on the table. Okay, you need to set up the targeting in such a way that you're focused, right? I mean, that's really the whole thing that we have here, and then send them to focused content that they are most likely to respond to. So we have an insurance person with us here today. So, home insurance. So, if you're targeting homeowners and then you're sending them towards a car insurance page, that may not work as well. Okay, send the homeowners to, your homeowner's insurance. Just make sure that things align. So if you have 3 or 4 ad campaigns, running to different targeted landing pages, that's going to convert better, on the same budget or the same amount of views, same amount of clicks than it will if you just send them to something generic. All right, so then, digital magic happens, and then profit. All right, you're getting more leads, you're getting more conversions, you're getting folks interested in and interacting with what you've got. All right, interaction time. If you have any questions over anything that we have covered that doesn't quite make sense, or you want to dive a little deeper into, happy to answer any questions. If you have anything that we didn't get to, feel free to do so. One question that we did get actually from somebody who registered it and then let me know that they weren't able to make it was conversion rates. Like, what is a good conversion rate to expect? And that varies so widely depending upon your industry. It really depends upon what your targeted action is. If you're trying to get someone to buy, $200 concert tickets versus getting them to download a free ebook, I mean, there's a pretty big difference there in commitment level. So it really has a lot more to do with what the ask is, and again, just industry and so forth. So there really is no good rule of thumb. But what you can do is, do a quick search and just kind of see, maybe for your industry or for that particular tactic, maybe find kind of a rough range, and that way you can at least know what's going on. So my suggestion is, take what you've learned today, apply it. Use the template that we've outlined. Make sure you have that headline that hooks. Make sure you have, a few concise bullet points, or just kind of details on what's going on. Have that imagery that aligns with the focus that you're trying to achieve, and then have that compelling call to action to close the deal. Start with those. Have that social proof also as well, or some kind of testimonial or trust icon. Have all those things, and that will give you a solid baseline. If that doesn't start converting for you, then either your targeting isn't quite right, you're not quite getting the right people on the page, or there's something wrong with your offer. Maybe people aren't quite as interested in what you thought they might be, and it might be time to, keep the landing page maybe more or less the same, but offer something different. Keep the layout the same, but offer something different. Um, a different topic or a different type of event. Whatever you're doing, just pivot a little bit. You may have to try a few things to find what converts. But once you have all that down, this type of layout and design will give you a good baseline. And then there's all different kinds of things you can do from there. You can do A/B testing. You can do variants of your pages. There's a lot of things that you can do, and that is, a whole other topic that we'll we'll cover another time. Thank you for your comment, Amy. Appreciate that. So yeah, any questions or anything from what we've covered? Give that just a moment since we do have a bit of delay with the video in the chat. All right. Looks like we don't have any questions coming through right now, which is perfectly fine. So, next is growth coaching. We can help you build a business that you can be proud of. So, if you don't have any landing pages, or you're still not quite sure how to get started, but you understand the value and how they work, we can work with you to create a plan and get something in action and get those built for you. If you have some, but they're not converting very well, we can conduct an audit. We can help find issues, find the quote unquote the leak in the funnel, or figure out why things aren't working and help you improve. So if this is something that you're interested in getting some help with, please get in touch with us. Check out our website. Is this available to show later? Yes, this is being recorded and will be here on YouTube. We'll also embed it on our website as well. If you register, which looks like everybody that has commented has registered, I think off the top of my head, you will actually get a follow-up. So you'll get a link to the recording and a follow-up survey, which will help us out. So kind of speaking, one of the things in the survey, what other future topics are you interested in? We can continue the theme, website optimization, headlines. Writing headlines that convert is huge. We've actually got an article hopefully published later this afternoon or tomorrow on that. We can do a whole session on that. I mean, we could talk for a couple hours on that. We won't. We'll keep it condensed down for you. But again, that is so critical because it's something that's easy to A/B test as well and see like what kind of headline performs best. Because if they don't keep scrolling down or they don't keep reading what you've got, they're not going to get there. Content ideas. So if you're not sure, what to blog about or what type of content will help attract your particular audience, if you're looking to do some search optimization, which content marketing can definitely help with, you're trying to build more organic traffic, and that way you've got some things you can drive to these landing pages without maybe having to do so much in the way of paid ads. We can help with that. We can help you figure out, through data-driven research, what topics folks in your industry or in your demographic are looking for, help you find the questions that they're asking so that you know what to answer or what kind of information to share, and that way you can start to build your reputation and your expertise. Making sense of analytics. There are so many things that need to be tracked with the landing page and with your website to see if people are, engaging with your site. Are they viewing a lot of pages? What are they doing? Are they actually, what percentage of people viewing your site are actually converting? If you don't have Google Analytics or something like that, and set up to tell you this, because there is some configuration needed, then you don't even really know how well it's working. Oh, hey, we get a couple a week or something. Well, is that good? Is that terrible? You don't really know percentage wise what that looks like. And so, without that information, how do you improve? I mean, it's really tricky. So we can help you set that up as well if that's something that you're looking for. We can do a presentation on some different things with that to make sure you have that set up properly. Not just website optimization, we also do marketing strategy and tactics. So if you're looking to figure out, okay, one of the first things we talked about, audience segmentation. If you're not quite sure how to do that, or you've kind of tried to split things up a couple different ways that you feel like it's maybe not quite, as good as it could be, or just not as clear as it could be, let us know. We're happy to work with you on that. If you're trying to grow your list of subscribers, whether that's email or it could be push notifications. There's several different things there. Your contact list, folks you have names and phone numbers and all that, that's something that we can cover. Trying to build your brand. So if you're a startup, or just a smaller company, or you're an entrepreneur, you've got something new. All right. Again, we're not at the Geico level. Okay, we can't just get away with a cute little gecko and a cute little message and get people to start filling out our form. You have to do more to get through that. But, you're trying to build that awareness. You're trying to build your brand. That's something that we can talk about as well. Even getting into video content and putting on webinars. It took a fair bit of prep in order to get all this ready. But yeah, it's been pretty neat. Definitely appreciate the comments and everybody's interaction. YouTube has been a good platform for us, and this is really kind of our first foray into the live side of things. So yeah, if you have a request or have a topic that you're wanting to learn more about, do let us know. And chances are, we may either already have an article on it that we can share with you, or we'll do a webinar on it and go into more detail, or we can just kind of answer, your questions personally. All right, so if you'd like to keep learning, if you enjoyed this presentation, you can subscribe here on YouTube. We do have articles on our website. You can get email notifications, for future webinars, which if you've registered, and again, everybody that's commented, I think already has, we'll go ahead, we'll let you know when our next one is. You will also get that survey, and one of the questions on there talks about kind of what format and so forth you would like the webinars to be in. We're looking at making this really a series because there's a lot of related topics, the or surrounding landing pages, the analytics, driving traffic, all that good stuff that will really help you put together that marketing engine and just help you, better be able to understand what's going on and how to drive more leads and so forth to your site. So that's something that we can cover as well. So check out our website, nexusgrowth.com, or search Nexus Growth Coaching. We have videos here on YouTube, articles on our website, and a lot of different resources, downloads and things. If you want somebody to audit your website, you're not sure what's good, what's bad, you want somebody to take a look at that and make some recommendations, we're happy to do so. I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think we will go ahead and wrap it up here. Appreciate everybody's time. Hope you learned something today. And if you get that survey, please fill it out. That helps us. So thanks. Have a good day.